Namaste.
Hi beautiful people, and welcome to our wedding vlog. If you've seen any of our previous videos, then you know this is our second wedding, and I've got Justin here with me today.
Hi everyone.
Now let's get right into it. So the night before the wedding, I stayed with my parents while Justin stayed at this hotel. Were you nervous at all?
A little bit. No one gave me any idea of what I meant to do.
How did you feel in the morning?
Very, very relaxed, except for I didn't know what was going on again.
Meanwhile,
To be honest, I also didn't know what was going on, except that I was told to get up at 5 a.m. to get myself ready for the day. For both Hong Kong and Nepal, I decided to do my own makeup, and as you can see here, I did my own hair as well. But the sari, definitely not. That was all my mum's doing. And talking about saris, fun fact you guys. Growing up, I always said to myself, I'm never going to wear red in my wedding because it was just a color that I would see everywhere. But then I learned that Nepali brides actually wear it because it illustrates love, purity, power, and fertility. Best lipstick ever. I'm now all ready and I'm waiting for my groom. The groom is here. And he's here with his parents and also the Danti that's standing behind him. Dantis are basically the groom's side or the party. However, as Justin didn't have any friends or family in Nepal, I had my uncle's friends act as his Jantis. So was it helpful having uncle's friends as your Jantis?
Yeah, Junties really helped me out. With me traveling with just my parents, it was really nice to have some support and best man, I guess.
Yeah. And whilst Justin and family was getting greeted outside, this is what I was up to. I've just been lurking from the balcony taking videos of the arrival, and I bet they were thinking like, oh, this is intense. But yeah, we'll have to see how they feel after as well. But they look cute. They're wearing a Moga dress, mom and dad, and Justin's wearing, we call it Prince Aladdin outfit, with a little feather. So it's happening. I wish, guys, that was just the beginning. Often our Hindu ceremony can go up to 8 hours. That is so long, but we decided to go for the shorter one, which was around 4.5 hours. After we exchanged our rings and the garlands as a symbol of acceptance and respect for each other, it was basically time for me to sit down and Justin and Dad to continue with their rituals. And honestly speaking, I'm the oldest in the family and I haven't really been to many weddings, so I'm also learning about our traditional wedding on this day.
अब स्वस्ति होस् सधैँभरि जहिले पनि स्वस्ति होस् भने अलि स्वस्तिको ब्लेसिङहरु सधैँ भइरहोस् ओम स्वस्ति ओम स्वस्ति ओम स्वस्ति.
How was this experience for you?
This part was really crazy. No one told me that this was happening, and it turned out it wasn't even Nepali and it was Sanskrit. So, yeah.
You do really well though.
समृद्धि भवन्तु ब्रुवन्तु ओम वृद्धिं भवन्तु ब्रुवन्तु ल जहिले ओम कल्याणं भवन्तु ब्रुवन्तु.
Following Justin's attempt to speak in Sanskrit, my body had just arrived, so we decided to take this moment to take some photos with her before moving on to the next part of the ceremony, which involved joining our hands together with my parents whilst our priest said a few words, and then we move on to this interesting part. And I say interesting because if you are not Nepali or, haven't seen this ritual before, you're going to be like, what on earth is this? What are they doing? So from my understanding, and if you are watching Nepali people, like feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, wrong here. But daughters in Nepali household represents one of the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, who also happens to be a daughter herself of goddess Durga. Therefore, the bride and the groom are treated as gods during this ritual, with all of my family members coming one by one to drink water from our feet. Okay, not literally, but just rather sprinkling water into their mouth. And it's funny because from the moment we planned this wedding, my mum kept reminding us, don't forget to wash your feet before this ritual. Anyways, so what was this experience like, having your feet touched and water drank out of your feet?
I felt like royalty, but also at the same time, it was really strange. I don't really like people touching my feet, let alone drinking water from it. And it wasn't just your direct family, but people I've never seen before until that day. So yeah, definitely an unusual experience.
Very unusual, but also forgot to mention that everyone coming to us to wash our feet and give us blessings were all the family from my dad's side, and my mum's side will follow after this next ritual. The next ritual we have is called Kanetan. Kanetan is basically where the father of the bride performs a ritual where he symbolically gives his daughter away to the groom. So basically it's the transition from her paternal home to marital home. The only thing we will say is that if you're going to do this, please make sure you're standing and not sitting. Anyways, once we were done with that, it was then time for my mum's side to give us the blessings. Starting from the eldest, my Bode and Baze gave us the blessings. And then here, our Mama Toli gifted us a plate full of kerching. And our Maiju Toli here surprised Justin by giving him a necklace made of money. And I also learned that this is actually a part of our Mogar tradition as well. So yeah, and that was pretty cool. And then it was time to move on to the next part of the ceremony, which involves sitting together under this mandap whilst our priest performed religious rituals and recited sacred mantras. Honestly, this bit was a bit intense, but then again, everything till that point was. So I'm just going to shut up for a bit and let you all enjoy this montage. So this next part is one of the most important part of the Nepali wedding, is where the groom applies sindoor to the bride's parting hair, which symbolizes her married status. How did you feel during this moment?
This was really high pressure. They told me, if you break this line, you will have a bad marriage and bad luck. So first time holding it, I just went with the flow.
Sorry, I think you broke it the third time. Look.
No evidence. I just went over your nose and put it everywhere that I could.
Well, thank you, husband. Anyways, I mentioned this part was important, and it's basically a sign to say that they're officially married, similar to saying I do in the Western cultures. And here, I don't know if you've noticed till now, but I've been sitting on Justin's right-hand side. But as we're officially married, I've been lifted and shifted to the left-hand side. And boy, did I fly.
I was told to lift her. They didn't say how high, so I just went as high as I could, and everyone started laughing.
Only because nobody knew that you were going to lift me so high. Okay, so this next part. Traditionally, the bride now has to bow down at her husband's feet to show respect to him. However, these days, both the bride and the groom take turns to bow down at each other. This was not the case for us. Instead, our priest got us to say namaste and basically hug each other at the end, which I really appreciated. And then it was time for tug of war between the groom's side and the bride's side. How was this experience for you?
It was really, really funny. Really good entertainment, seeing everyone pulling, and one of the uncle's watch fell off.
Yeah, there, you can see me lift it up as well.
Yeah, and it just went flying, and he didn't even realise. And it was great because if they didn't turn up, then no one would be pulling for my side except for my dad.
And mum.
And mum.
Do you know why they do this?
Absolutely not.
It's meant to forecast who wears the pants in the marriage, basically. And woohoo, we're almost at the end of our ceremony, so we're just getting some final blessings from our priest, and we're finally eating our first meal of the day, which was...
not great. I think it was warm yogurt.
Yeah, and it was so strange feeding one another with our pinkies. And actually, that's a fun fact for you guys as well. In Nepal, on big days like this or festival days where prayers are involved, we normally have to fast till the prayers are all complete. So, Mr. Angie, you've never had to do this before, so what was it like for you?
I really enjoyed it, but I'm glad we did this instead of the 8-hour temple version.
Oh my god, that's so true. We were so close to actually doing this whole ceremony at a public temple, and that would have been extra hectic. Whew. Anyways, now we're coming to an end of our ceremony where the priests are giving their final blessings to our immediate family, and then it was time for Justin to bargain for his shoes back.
Yes.
30. You got 30?
30 what? 30 rupees?
30,000.
No.
30,000.
No. It's empty in here, empty. Yes. I don't know how much money I have.
30 rupees. Just start
30
with.
rupees? 50 rupees? 1,000. 2,000. 2,500. 1,000. 3,000. 4. 3? I don't know how long this is going to go for. How much?
We have only deducted 2,000, so like
20,000. Oh.
So you have to negotiate that.
Nice, very nice.
you're gonna take my sister today, so you should give that.
How much?
3,000,
10,000.
3,000,
2,000.
25,000.
I'm broke. I have nothing. Look, I can't show it actually. What's your offer? 2,000.
20.
This is not even 2,000. This is 1,000.
At this stage, I was asked to barter for my shoes, which I have no idea. So you'll see that I'm wearing random shoes instead of proper shoes. Barsha's dad told me, don't give away too much money. But then I also felt quite bad, so I was pulling out like 10 rupees, 20 rupees, trying to negotiate for the best price.
Do you know why he said that?
No, I don't.
Because we were running out of time. We had to go to the venue.
Ah.
And so after Justin got his shoes back, then it was time for our brothers to basically carry the groom and the bride to the car. Okay, how sorry did you feel for our cousin Miman?
If you're listening, Mumbai, I'm really sorry. I need to lose weight ASAP.
He was like, what, 20 kg below you?
No. 15?
Okay, boy. Anyways, during this time is where the bride is meant to be in tears as she's leaving her family home, which is why I'm pretending to cry with this fake water here. But this ain't like the olden times, and I'm going to be seeing my parents in literally less than an hour. So off we go to the next venue. Also, look how happy all of my family are here, especially my mum. Literally no tears in sight. I love it. Oh my god, you guys, this bit just cracks me up because, well, let Justin explain that for you.
When we originally organised the photo shoot, our plan was to film inside the hotel because of the beautiful interior, but we ended up filming outside in the nature.
And it wasn't cheap at all as well. Like, we had to pay a big sum to even use the space. And we got mic'd up.
Yeah, we weren't prepared and they were asking us like very lovey-dovey questions.
If you want to check that out, it's already up on YouTube.
Or don't.
After 5 hours of our traditional ceremony and 3.5 hours of our photo shoot, it's time to party. Lol, it is our reception. Honestly, what a long and heavy day it has been. Like, my social battery was at like 5%. But hey, we had to keep the smiles going. So here we are entering with full faces of smile. Lol, I take that back. Justin looks so done here. Anyways, the first thing we did was go around and greet all of our friends and family that was already there, including our Botu who was waiting for us, bless her. And if you know Nepali weddings, then you know there is no such thing as RSVP. So people just show up because it's a party, you know, and you have a buffet, so you don't really have a problem of not having enough seats or food. So with that said, we anticipated for around 120 people. We had total of 198 people, which is actually quite low in comparison to the average Nepali weddings that have 500 to 600 guests. So initially, we actually even struggled to find a venue that can accommodate up to 200 guests, which is funny because in the UK, this is such a large number of guests and we were having the opposite problem. Anywho, after we were done greeting all of our guests, it was now time for the guests to come and greet us on the stage. This is quite common in Nepali weddings and is basically where the guests will give you blessings. How was this experience for you? Did you feel like a king?
This was funny because I was a guy. They kept coming to me first and no one knew who most of the villagers were. So I ended up just saying, Uncle, Bodze, Mama, Chama. But yeah, I was guessing and definitely a lot of Dannabad.
So yeah, we basically invited a lot of family and friends from the villages. So there were a lot of people whom I've never met before as well.
12 seconds later.
And you know what they say? It's not a Nepali wedding if there's no dancing involved. And literally like maybe 30 minutes in and everyone was already on the dance floor. A total opposite experience to our Hong Kong wedding, and I think your parents were pretty surprised at this, right?
This was so different to what we experienced as Chinese people. We're not big dancers. Our weddings are a lot about food. The only dancing you see is lion dancing. But yeah, we're very much sat on tables, eating food, listening to speeches. So it was really, really different and I really enjoyed it.
And funny enough, you were the one that requested Dori song.
Yeah, everyone was a little bit older and they kept playing like some drum and bass. So I thought, let's get the crowd bumping. Here's the moves.
And we also got dragged in.
And we quickly exited.
I know, you can see here how fast. Like we did like 360 and we just left.
And they are professionals, so we just ran away.
Look at us running away. Following our little dance, we were back on the stage to receive more blessings from our remaining family and friends. During this time, the rest of our guests were eating, drinking, and dancing. We also had surprise performances from our nearest and dearest. Okay, this here is a special type of dance called Koda. In my previous Nepal vlog, I briefly spoke about various different ethnic groups that exist in Nepal. I also mentioned that amongst the 142 ethnic groups, my family and I are from the Mughal caste. Well, this dance here, Koda, as I mentioned it earlier, is a traditional dance form originated from the Mughal tribe. However, besides the Mughal community, it is now also performed by other castes in Nepal, such as the Gurung community. Here was another example of the Koda dance. It's not always performed in groups, as you can see here, it's performed solo, and as for the rhythm or the pace, it keeps going back and forth between fast and slow. And on top of that, you really have to focus on the beat of your feet. And I don't know if that makes sense, but basically there is a structure to this, and I've done it before, and trust me, it is not an easy dance at all. And then I had my little cousin dance, and she is the cutest. Bless her, she was telling us how she's actually been going to dance classes just so she can be extra prepared for our wedding. And here you can see my dad putting money in her hair, and this is quite a normal thing actually. You might have also already seen this in the previous clip, but this is done when the performer is dancing well, or if you like the performance. And then it was finally time for us to eat, and also the camera, because the camera was following us around. This is so Nepali party coded, and by that what I mean is usually in functions the cameraman will be going around taking photos or videos of people mid-eating. So of course we didn't want that, so we asked the cameraman to cut it. Anyways, after a big meal, it was time to burn it all off on the dance floor. But not for us, because it's now time for us to hand out the gifts of appreciation to all of our closest relatives. And honestly, this bit was a bit intense, and really we should have done this whilst we were on the stage receiving those blessings earlier. Because truth be told, it was a pain in the ass trying to find people or trying to find gift with people's name on it. Nonetheless, we got it done, even though that meant not being able to dance with the rest of the party on the dance floor.